who died in the line of duty will be recognized tomorrow.
In February of last year, Trooper Kyle McAcy died while responding to a crash on the interstate. Tomorrow, he will join Corrections Officer Colby Baber as the two newest names to the Nebraska Law Enforcement Memorial. Ceremony takes place Friday morning in Grand Island. Kyle McAcy died while responding to a crash during a snowstorm on I-80 south of Ashland. Investigators said McAcy was outside when his patrol unit, a snow plow, backed into him. He was just 31. McAcy was born in Omaha and served with the State Patrol for 10 years.
Also happening next week, Trooper McAcy will be added to the National Law Enforcement Memorial in Washington, D.C. We're told several State Patrol teammates plan to be in attendance.
A group of